So the title of this is it too late to get into HEX? And for those of you who don't know, I was a day one HEX guy. I got in the first day. I was super excited. I've been watching for a couple weeks what Richard Hart was saying. If I go back even earlier, I was never really a big fan of Richard. He was a Bitcoin maximalist, so people who are Bitcoin maximalists, I'm not fans of. I've always had an issue with that. I've always been more of a crypto agnostic. And what a crypto agnostic is somebody who believes that sooner or later there's going to be better technologies that come along and replace or improve upon the current coins and tokens that we currently have. And I believe that HEX is one of them. And I had a perfect example that was something that happened to me today. And I'm going to tell you in a minute, but I want to recap what I said earlier, is that I had a friend who's been in crypto a very long time. I would consider him a whale. And he messaged me and said, "Hey, Randy, is it too late to get into HEX?" And I said, "No, not at all. Get into it now." There's no financial advice, but I said, "Listen, it's time for you to get into HEX. You've listened to me in the past. Here's another one where you can do very well on." So we'll see what he does with that. But I had something happen to me today, and it began on Friday, that brings me back to why I love HEX so much. So on Friday, I sold some Link, and I had made big profits with my Link, and I said, you know what? I see that my other favorite coin, Epic Cash, there's an arbitrage opportunity using the HEX exchange. And HEX is a Korean exchange, and they've been having some issues, but no one was saying that they were worried that the exchange was going to go down. So I went on to HEX, and I bought a bunch of Epic Cash. So within 5 minutes, I knew I had made a mistake. And I went and tried to withdraw my coins, and it was grayed out. You know that pain you feel in your belly when you know that you can't withdraw your coins? Well, that's what I felt. So I immediately went on to the HEX official account and checked out why the coins weren't able to be withdrawn. And they had a bunch of other coins as well. I was pissed. I said, why is this happening to me again? I haven't used a centralized exchange in almost 6 months since I used BuyHodl, which is also defunct. They went down about 4 or 5 months ago. But I was using BuyHodl to buy my Epic Cash in the beginning because that was the only exchange that had it listed. And I took all those off a long time ago, had them in my wallet, and they were just sitting there collecting dust. And I took my Link profits and I sent them over to HEX real quick to get this arbitrage opportunity. And then I couldn't even withdraw my freaking coins. And I just wanted to get them off and put them into my wallet because I have a feeling that Epic Cash is going to do very well in this next bull run. So I did that and stuck. So I gave it 24 hours. I gave it 48 hours. And then today I logged back in. I was able to get into sitex.me. And, hey, Big Kukowski, what's up, brother? I was able to get into HEX, and I sold the coins that I had and put them into USDT. Thanks for the ice cream, brother. And I put them into BTC to withdraw. But remember, people are having trouble withdrawing with Ethereum. So that just tells me that I shouldn't use USDT version of Ethereum. So let me try Tron's version of Ethereum because I do have a Tron wallet. And I did that. Would you believe that transaction failed? So a little bit frustrated. So I go and, hey, SuperX, thank you, brother, for the ice cream. So I went in and I withdrew using Bitcoin. And I wanted to do 2 transactions in case one got hung up. So we're talking about Cytex Exchange guys here today. They're a Korean exchange. I had some Epic Cash on there. I tried to sell them, and they unable to withdraw. So I had to change them back to USDT and Bitcoin. And I sent the first one out this morning at 9 a.m. It is now 10 p.m. here. And the first one just arrived in my Bitcoin wallet at 9 p.m. So it took 12 hours to get the coin, my first batch of Bitcoin. And then I sent the other one at about 8:30 tonight, and it arrived around 9:05 or 9:10. So I was able to get all my coins off of Cytex, thankfully. It looks like it's going to be another one of these exchanges that just goes kaplooey and bye-bye. So, as somebody who's an anarcho-capitalist, I believe that good for them. Bye. We don't need these centralized pieces of crap. So that's just my lead into why I think HEX is so important. I was actually in the Dollar Vigilante Telegram earlier. I work for Dollar Vigilante. Jeff Berwick's my client. He's been my client for years. I handle all the social media. And I went into the company chat tonight. And as I was going into the company chat, there was a couple of people complaining about Cytex because they couldn't get their Epic Cash off the exchange, and they couldn't even get into the exchange because they have like 3 different URLs. And I went in and I saved the day. I told them, look, use this URL, cytex.me, get in there, change it to Bitcoin. Do not change to USDT because you're not going to be able to withdraw USDT. You're not going to be able to withdraw Ethereum. So get your coins out, save your ass, take a loss, whatever. That's part of the game in crypto. That's my fault for using a centralized exchange. It's their fault as well because all these guys are crypto veterans and they know better, but greed got the best of us. I made a killing on Link. It was one of the last coins that I've been trading, and I took my profits. I saw an arbitrage opportunity. I ran in to get some coins, and I got screwed. So that's what greed kills, man. And that's that old trader thing inside of me. Sometimes it's hard to get it out, take out that little demon, and thankfully it all worked out. So got my Bitcoin. I'm good. That leads me into HEX. Why is HEX so important? To me, it has improved my life so much. I used to be a guy who would have 30 different coins. I'd have, a couple $1,000s of each coin if I could afford it. And I would just sit there and hope for a 50 to 100 to 200 to 300% run. I would take my profits, put them into another coin, that kind of thing, and just play that game. I've been doing this for years. It worked out for me in 2017. I was able to live for 2 years without having to work very hard. My son was born in January 3rd of 2018, Bitcoin's birthday, so that was pretty exciting for us. We call him the Bitcoin baby. And that allowed us for the first 2 years of his life to just spend 100% of our time with our child. But leading up to that was very stressful. 2017, I was launching project right and left with different companies. I was the marketing social media guy for a bunch of projects you might know. Zencash, I launched that one. Steam, I was on the team for over a year. My wife and I were both on the team. We worked with a bunch of high-profile projects, and we raised a crap ton of money, but it was very stressful. And a lot of times I would get paid in coins. And for those of you who don't know what it's like to work in crypto, getting paid in coins is very risky. I've had a couple that I was paid and they gave me the coins a year later, and by that time they had already were worthless. So, it's like self-flagellation here, just whipping my own ass. So I don't recommend doing it. Make sure you get paid up front if you can. Get paid in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or even USD if you want, but don't trust taking coins when a coin is launching. Imagine if you got paid in YAM. that coin YAM that launched the other day. So with HEX, we use decentralized exchanges. I recommend Mooniswap, MOONISWAP. You could use Uniswap, but they are gatekeeping us. That is not a good feeling to know that your favorite project can't be accessed directly. You have to put in the contract address in order to trade with it. Yeah, that's what we had to do with stuff back in the day. We always had to put our contract addresses in. But I don't feel that that's a very cool way of doing crypto. If we want to have mass adoption, we need to be able to just log in, do a drop down, make the transaction, purchase, and be able to stake our coins or do whatever we want with our cryptos. And HEX simplifies all that, especially for a guy like me who is busy. I've got my own business. I've got tons of clients. I'm launching my own project that should be ready here in the next 3 to 4 weeks. I don't have time to sit and trade anymore and fight with exchanges like Cytex. That was total bullshit. I shouldn't have had to deal with that today. And the stress of knowing that I might have lost a couple $1,000s, that weighed on me all afternoon. But hey, the coins arrived, so I feel better now. And a couple of my friends got their money back too. And I want to give a shout out to Hex Toys. Thanks for the hat. I did buy mine, and he said he'll get me my pin if we ever meet up in Europe. So I'm supposed to go to Europe here in the next couple of weeks, but there's no flights out of Panama, so I'm stuck. All right, so what's going on with HEX? My buddy's itching to get in now. He's wondering if it's too late. I told him it's not too late. Buy some HEX, stake some HEX. It's not gonna, everyone's made profits in the last 6 months. Anybody who's been involved in crypto since 2017 probably had bags, and a lot of those bags have done very well. I saw Tron pop this week, BTT's up, EOS is even moving. So some of these old coins that people have had for a long time, they're starting to move back up. And I know some folks are looking to get out of them. So if you do make 100% off the bottom, 200, 300, maybe go into coins that are looking to do something. HEX is one of them. What is different about HEX? For me, it is the capability of taking my coins, my current money, and then staking it for 10 years or 15 years and not even thinking about it. I'm not one of these ladder stake guys. I just, I'm like Picasso. I'm just throwing shit. Or, I'm sorry, not Picasso. Who's the other guy from the 50s who used to just throw stuff on the wall or on the floor and paint, whatever his name was. Can't remember. But that's how I am. I would get my new HEX and I just pick a date and I'd stake it. So I don't have any real schedule. I have to use Google Calendar to remind me of when my stakes come out, but I don't have hundreds of stakes, right? I have larger ones less often, so maybe 2 a year going out all the way 15 years. So that's what I'm planning on doing and continuing to do, and I recommend other people as well. Somebody who will remain unnamed in our community did recommend a while back to keep some Ethereum in our MetaMask wallet or in your other wallets that you use, just in case Ethereum does go up to $1,000 again, or 10,000, or I believe it's going to 20. Just stake your coins out, larger amounts, once, twice, 3 times a year, because it's possible that it's going to cost a ton of money to unstake our coins. These guys that are staking 500 to 1,000 HEX every day and every other day, wow, that's going to be painful. So I don't want to be one of those guys. So be careful with your staking method. Crypto goes up. Our fees are based in Ethereum. Ethereum 2.0 might not be the savior that we hope it is going to be, but let's just take a precaution and put one Ethereum in your wallet and let it sit there, because that'll cover the fees. Get out of that trader mindset. Even you're going to need Ethereum for your HEX, so put one aside just to be safe. All right, so how are we going to stake our HEX? Right now, I think that the current time frame, the average time frame, is 4.76 years. I'm going out past 10 with everything now. In the beginning, when I first got in, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 5, I was doing stakes like everybody else, 350 days, or after the big payday, like 400 days, 450, 500, and I was receiving a bunch of referrals back then because I wrote that article on Crypto Daily. I got a bunch of big ones. It was really cool. And I was taking those coins and I was staking those ones out for 2 years. I said, hey, free money, let me just stake them out for 2 years, and it worked out. So I'm just going to leave those staked. I was thinking about unstaking them and going longer, but when the price of HEX started coming back down, I said, you know what, I'm just going to buy more, and those I'm going to stake out for 10 years. So I did one emergency unstake, and it was for a small, like 2,000 HEX just to see what would happen. I tried it, I put them in for a week and unstaked early, and when I saw that, I said, I never want to do that again. So I've been staking everything and just let it sit. So let's see what to do here. The average person, I think, can afford to buy 10 to 20,000 HEX. And I saw somebody the other day, I can't remember, it might have been Socrates or one of the guys in our community. He was saying something about $10. If you stake $10 worth of HEX for 10 years, it's almost the equivalent of $1,000 10 years later. Because of he was talking about at the current price of HEX, if you stake it for 10 years and the interest that you're earning, and because of the people that are end staking early, those coins could be worth $1,000 in 10 years at the current price. Well, what if HEX does 10, 20, 30, 50x? We don't know what's going to happen. What if it goes down 50%? Whatever. So if you do $10 worth of HEX, which I think is only about 4,000 HEX right now, and stake those out for 10 or 11 or 12 years, you might have a considerable amount of money. Why not? Try it out. If you've got family members, set them up with a wallet and donate or buy them 10,000 HEX and just stake it out for 10 years and say, hey, you never know. This could be your lottery ticket. I hope it is for us. I hope it is for my family. I hope it is for my friends as well and everybody that's in the HEX community, because we're early adopters and we deserve the pat on the back and the living good in 10 to 15 years. So not that I don't live good already, but for anybody who didn't get into crypto early on, this is another opportunity to be able to enjoy life to the extreme. I'm telling you, having a child and then living for 2 years without having to worry about working is phenomenal. It is great. It was just myself, my wife, and my son, and we traveled all over the world. We lived the good life for those 2 years. Then when the funds started running out, I'm like, oh boy, got to get back to work. And that's what we did. So 10,000 HEX. Now in HEX, we have two different ways of getting extra bonuses. Right now, you've got the longer pays better, you got the bigger pays better, and I should also say you have the big payday. Now, big payday goes away on November 19th. So I think the longer pays better and bigger pays better will still be around even after big payday, but this is how it works. 10,000 staked HEX right now will get you, let's just do, I'm not even going to mess with anything under a year. Let's just go 365 days. So 365 days will pay you 2,000 HEX bonus, and we call hearts, like Satoshis in Bitcoin, we call them hearts here, after Richard Hart, our fearless leader. All right. Bigger pays better isn't much of a factor here because it's only 10,000 HEX. But what is a factor is longer pays better. So you're already going to get 20% just because of your longer pays better bonus. Now, what's not in there is the amount of HEX you're going to receive due to interest. And right now, the current interest that we are earning on HEX is about 23%, something like that. And I am earning a considerable amount of HEX every day. Every time that new calendar rolls over, I check my wallet, and holy crap, I got more HEX. And it's not just from interest; it's also from people that are end staking early. So if someone say they have a 1,000-day stake, and then they emergency unstake at 500 days, those coins that they were going to earn in interest then go to us. 50% goes to the origin address, 50% goes to the people that are staked. That's a good deal. Now imagine taking that out 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 years. 15.2 years is the maximum amount, 55 days. And all those people that unstake, you get a piece of those coins. It adds up. And I'm watching mine add up. And I can't imagine these guys that were getting in like day 33, 34, 35 when they were getting 1 Ethereum to get 2 million HEX. Holy crap. I wasn't paying attention. I had already bought my HEX. Hey, Crypto Vince, thanks for the ice cream, brother. At that time, I was already thinking about the next thing. That's just how I am. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a form of ADD for me. I lose interest, and I stop paying attention to something, and I lost interest in HEX just because I had spent the ETH that I wanted to spend. So okay, I'll come see it again in a year. That's how I do things. I get bored easy, and life happens, right? But then one night I caught the McCormick interview, and I was cracking up. I was like, who is this fucking clown? I said, really? And I'm a guy who likes to support people who are being attacked. Maybe it's a hero mentality. I don't know what it is. I say, you know what? I don't think this is fair. What's happening to Richard Hart. Even though I've never been a big Richard Hart fan, I tell him, when I write my articles and stuff, I say, look, I've never been a Richard Hart fan because he was a Bitcoin maximalist, and I couldn't stand Bitcoin maximalists the whole time I've been in crypto. But when I saw McCormick attacking him, I got pissed. I said, this is bullshit. So I went and then I saw the part of the Tone Vase interview. I couldn't handle it. And Yavin and all these other people said, these people are clowns. So I went and I wrote another article, and then I wrote a third article about the community. I think that was about a month ago, and saying how strong the community is. So that got me back interested in the coin. And then during that time, I think it was already back up to about 0.4 of a penny, and I started watching Hexologist. And this had to be right when the lockdown began. I am in Panama. I've been in lockdown since March 20th. So I had to start watching Hexologist about March 22nd or something like that. So I'm currently still in lockdown, guys. I only get to leave my freaking house 4 hours a week. My wife gets to leave 6 hours. We have a rotating day, men, women, men, women, men, women. Panama is out of control. So those folks who are thinking about moving down here, I would not do that at the current moment. So I started watching Hexologist, starting to get involved with the community. My son, he yells out Hexologist. He knows the symbol. He sees it on the computer. It's like, Hexologist, Hexologist. He knows Richard. It's hysterical. He's only 2.5, and he watches the show with me every night. And as him and my wife are eating dinner, and we just enjoy it together. And that brought me back into the community. And I've been buying every week since. I've been stacking more and more HEX. And I take my HEX that I get and I just stake it out over 10 years. So those of you who don't know what 10 years can do, if you stake your HEX out for 10 years and you still only 10,000 HEX, you are going to double your longer pays better. So your 10,000 HEX is now going to be 30,000 HEX at the end of the 10-year period. And you're also going to get your big payday HEX, which is going to be 52,510. And on top of that, you're also going to earn the interest, which we don't know what the total amount of the interest is going to be. But if it's anything like it is right now, holy crap, it's going to be a lot of money. All right. And you're also going to get a piece of everybody who unstakes early. So be prepared for that. You're just going to see the amount just stacking up. And you'll see that in the column where it shows, right here, when it shows interest. This column is going to show you the amount of interest you earn, the amount of early end stakes that you earn, and once it happens, big payday, I believe it's going to go into this column as well. But I did hear that Richard the other day during the live stream that he had, I think maybe it was yesterday, he discussed that they're thinking about adding another column. I think that would be good. Or maybe two columns, maybe the big payday column and a column for early unstake penalties that we receive. Oh wait, he already kept the big. There's the big payday column, my fault. So we need the early unstake penalties column. Just that would be cool for me, and I think the whole community would appreciate that, because that'll give us a better idea of what we're earning. So right now, the current amount of people that are staked is pretty low, so we're earning a high interest of 23 or 24%. I do believe that the interest rate will go down the closer we get to the big payday. It already changed a little bit today. I saw how much I was possibly going to get. It's not guaranteed, right? As more people stake, the amount of big payday coins that we receive goes down. So I think I maxed out yesterday or the day before, and I think it's going to slowly start going down again as more people stake. So I don't think it's going to be a ton of people at stake. We might end up with 15, or we're at, I think it's 15% right now, 15.5. But we might end up 30% or so by the time big payday happens. I used to think that it was going to be more like 50, 60, or 70%. I just don't see the community. Those of us who are big fans of HEX, we are a vibrant group, and we're really passionate about HEX, but we're a small percentage. And the people out there who are looking to make money on HEX, they're still traders. And they have, I know these people because I was one. These folks, they want to buy their coins. They want to wait close to big payday, hoping that 30, 40, 50% of the people stake their coins. It's going to cause a dry up of the supply, and it'll probably cause the price to go up considerably. There's some people that are thinking over a penny by big payday, and that's totally possible. So traders, they're looking to do their, right now it's a quarter of a penny. If it goes up to a penny, they 4x their stack, and they're happy. They got that short-term mindset. I know that mindset. I know some of you guys know that mindset as well. You've been around here a long time in crypto. So those folks are going to look to take those profits and move them into another coin, the latest, greatest thing. But the passionate ones, probably the people that are watching this stream or will watch the video on YouTube tomorrow and library, they're the ones that understand that you take these HEX and you stake them out, and you don't have to trade. It's mind-blowing. What Richard made and what his team made, Kyle and the guys, it's going to be life-changing for those of us who saw this opportunity early and got past the scam bullshit. I saw past the scam bullshit a long time ago. All I had to do was look at the way the system worked, the basics. When I first looked at it, I think it was a week before the launch, and people were already calling it a scam at that time. And I said, this isn't a scam. It's decentralized. We stake the coins, and it seemed pretty simple to me. I said, how are people that I know as peers that I used to respect calling this project a scam? It made absolutely no sense to me. I was pretty pissed off. I've lost a lot of friends. I think my Twitter follower account, I've been losing on average 70 to 80 followers per month since I got into HEX. I even had Andreas Antonopoulos talk shit about me the other day because he goes, oh, I went to your profile. I see that you're talking about HEX now. That just tells me everything I need to know about you, Randy. Thanks, Andreas. Not that you've ever been cool to me. So we can't stand him. We've seen him multiple times in person, and yeah, he's knowledgeable about Bitcoin. He's knowledgeable about privacy and things like that, and I respect him for that and the way he educates the world about Bitcoin and those kind of things. But I think he's missing a huge opportunity here, not just with HEX, but my other favorite project, Epic Cash, and anything that has privacy, anything that does not involve banks, something that you have 100% control over. That's what I got into crypto for, and I'm here to stay. When I see something that comes along, like I said, I'm crypto agnostic. When I see something that comes along that is awesome, that does what HEX does, all I need is this little wallet here, a MetaMask wallet, and the ability to stake and to unstake. And if that's all you need in a decentralized exchange like MooneySwap, I don't know. It's a no-brainer to me. What are these people talking about? So when they talk about the OA, I've been Jeff Kurdakis, the CEO of Uptrend. I'm very well known in the crypto social media game. That's where I sharpened my sword in crypto. I was on the Steam team, and I helped when Jeff launched Uptrend. I jumped on it right away. Jeff and I go way back in some of the crypto social media groups on Facebook, which I've left now. I don't want to hear the drama. I can't stand that stuff anymore. But Jeff and I got into it. I think it was back in late March, just after I started watching Hexologist. And he said to me that Hex was a scam, and there was another guy that was talking about it, saying that it was a scam because the OA, and how the OA had 80% of the coins, or at that time I think it was like 70% of the coins, and how is that good for Hex? And it's not fair. And as a business person, I'm like, what do you mean it's not fair? Who cares who has the OA? Do you think the OA origin address is stupid enough to dump all of its coins on our heads and take the price to zero, or maybe one gwei or whatever? Why would they do that? That'd be the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. That's not how businesses do anything. So business its stock goes like crazy, and then they sell it all to zero. This isn't an ICO, folks. These people who think like that, they have this 2017 mindset of getting screwed, and there's a lot of people that got screwed. Like me, I worked my butt off for some of these projects. I got paid in their tokens. I'd never been able to redeem my money from them. That hurts, and I know that there's a lot of people that still have that saltiness, and they don't trust anything, but yet they're out here pushing these DeFi projects where there's centralized people, centralized oracles handling the books or the code, and they're pushing that onto people. And we saw what happened last week with Yam. I called out, I think who it was, Ivan on Tech said something about Yam, and I believe I said something to him, and I also said something to Box Mining. Box Mining's, he's a friend of mine as well, and we go back years. And I called him out, man. I said, "What are you talking? Why are you pushing this?" Arthur Hayes, he made a tweet as well, and I'm like, "Why are people pushing this?" So I tweeted about it, and within 6 hours, I think it was or so, you saw the price tank. Bah! The whole book just went to the floor. So I then tweeted again. I said, "This is what happens, guys." And then they're all making excuses like, "Oh, this is how Yam is supposed to work. You just don't understand the code." And then a couple hours later, then we got the word that their books it was locked up, their code wasn't working, it wasn't functional. Okay. It said all their coins are SAFU though. You can get your coins, you don't have to worry. So yeah, I felt bad for the people that put their money in. But the people that are putting their money in, they have to have some technical know-how. It's not many of the new folks. It's a different, right now it's still the people that are technologically, or they understand the tech. So it's not regular folks who are doing the DeFi right now. It's the front runners, the people that understand crypto, who already have a pretty good amount of money. So they're playing with their money, and they don't care if they lose $10,000. Go ahead, have fun, have at it, lose some money. If it was regular people that lost their money with this damn thing, then we would have heard more news about it. But because it was just a bunch of crypto folks, they just considered it a test. They just blew it off. Next one, go on to the next DeFi. DeFi I made money with it. I did the Lend ICO, which is now Aave, and I bought mine at a penny. That was one of my biggest wins in 2017. I sold them all a long time ago, but it was one of my biggest wins ever. I think that was maybe a 12, 13x, something like that. That was a very cool. I met the guys in Lisbon. We were at Steam Fest in Lisbon, and there was a young guy who came out to me and said, "Hey, Randy, I know you from Twitter, and I have some questions for you. Could you write an article about Lend for us?" And I'm like, "What is it?" And we went through it, and I ended up writing the article. I bought some of the ICO, and it did very well. So I was the only one of my friends who bought it. Nobody bought Lend, but it popped off and did like 12, 13x shortly after the ICO, and I made money, and I was happy. And it dropped all the way back down to a penny. I think it was back in December. And now you see where it is today, like 35 cents. So let them, there's going to be some DeFi projects that do very well. Link is another one. I don't believe in using centralized stuff. I bought Link a while back. I think it was 6 months or so ago. And I made money with it. Such is life. We make the money and then we turn it into profits elsewhere. So I am not one of these guys that believes that, for those of you who think I'm a huge HEX guy, I own other coins, okay? I'm not one of these guys who can put all my eggs in one basket. I never have, but HEX is now my number 2. So I really want to see HEX do well, and I'm going to be telling everyone about it, continue to tell everybody about it, continue to use my referral link, continue to make videos, and let the world know the value of this project. And that's it for HEX. So I want to go, oh, jeez. I didn't post my Facebook thing. I'll try again. All right. So next thing I want to talk about, let's go into Aurochs. This is the trading platform that I use. My buddy Terrace is the founder of Aurochs. So he gives me free access, and I have all the trading signals, and gives us an idea of what. I'm a horrible trader. I'm 100% honest. I've never been a good trader. I've always been a buy the rumor, sell the news guy. That's how I always made my money in the past, going back to 2014 when I first got into crypto. I've never used signals. I've never used TradingView. I never used any of those kind of things. I would just follow the news. That's just how I made my money. I would get into a coin when I heard the whispers that something was coming, and right before it happened, the day before it happened, I would sell, and I'd take whatever profit I had and then roll it into the next bit of news, and it worked good for me. A perfect example for me was Lisk, Lisk. I don't know if you guys remember Lisk. A friend of mine said that they were doing a fork of Ethereum with smart contracts, but they were going to use some other kind of code. If you guys remember what code it was, let me know. JavaScript. I think they were going to use JavaScript in their code. And I said, that sounds smart to me. Plus, they were a German team, so I believe that they had potential. And it was the last day of the ICO, and I put a bunch of money, everything I had at the time. I was just still new into crypto. This is 2016, and that one popped off as well. So I know a friend who made a killing on this because he held his, but on the ICOs, I bought and I sold. I was one of those guys who would sell a day later or 2 days later, and that was back when I used to trade. Yeah, you see the smile on my face. That was back when I was a degenerate gambler. So Lisk was one. Also, like Lend, a big winner for me. So let's talk about Aurochs here. Aurochs has a couple indicators that you can use. They have some great ones. It's actually free to sign up. And I like using the advanced indicators because I'm a horrible trader. That's what I meant to talk about. They have the Aurochs volume profile. That's free. They have the Aurochs fear and greed indicator. I don't use it. They have the Aurochs indicator. It's a $200 is what it's going to cost when Aurochs goes live. It's about 70% accuracy. I've had a couple times when it was wrong, but since I'm not trading Bitcoin anymore, it doesn't matter. Aurochs lines, you don't need to draw support. It'll tell you, it'll give you the red lines and the green lines to tell you where support is and that kind of stuff. And this is sequential, one of the most efficient yet overlooked indicators of cryptocurrency. You can quickly identify trends as they come to an end and before they reverse. Combine this with the indicator with the Aurochs indicator for the easiest method of determining the perfect entry and exit points. All right, and then they have all the basic indicators that you're used to. But hey, if I get the top dog shit for free, I'm going to use the top dog shit, and I've been using it for a long time. So I like it. So I always use the daily, and right now for Bitcoin, we have, as of yesterday, we have a green arrow saying that we're going up. And if you would have listened and you did the trade, you would have made some money. The support level we have currently is 11,415. That seems pretty good because we're at 12.3 right now. This is on Binance, by the way. So 11.4. So someone who's doing leverage trading, they probably go halfway for their stops or whatever. Good luck with that, guys. No thank you. I'm tired of losing money. I've lost a shit ton of money leverage trading over the years, and I put out a tweet, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, saying that I'm no longer trading and I'm over it. So thank you. Thank you, HEX, for curing me of that disease.